Get ready for a night of inspiration, laughter, and support. Join us on Saturday, October 4th at 6 p.m. at the Tupelo Cotton Mill, where outstanding men from our community will walk in her shoes. You'll hear powerful stories from survivors and caregivers, enjoy delicious food and drinks, and experience live entertainment in an evening filled with fellowship, fun, and hope. All proceeds go to support those bravely fighting cancer. This event is powered by Wear It Well.
Mississippi's trusted weather experts. This is Mississippi Live Weather at 6.
Well, welcome to Mississippi Live Weather at 6. I am so thankful you could tune in for y'all's Friday evening. It has been a long work week, at least for me, but I am so excited to be back here in front of the camera, in front of y'all, to give y'all the latest look on y'all's weather conditions, not only for y'all's Friday evening, but for y'all's pretty much weekend forecast. We still have a beautiful weekend in store for us, almost a rinse and repeat, as I mentioned during that 5 o'clock. But these Friday night broadcasts are my favorite because even though the weather outside is kind of boring and just dry and hot right now, we get to see some high school football games, some SEC football forecasts, all of that coming up within the next few minutes. So I appreciate y'all taking the time out of y'all's evening to tune in. But let's take a look at our headlines. We see beautiful football conditions into this evening. That's basically going to be the main story. Not much going on, and that is a good thing because we don't want a rainy or a soggy forecast, even though it is our dry season here in North Mississippi, but we can at least enjoy this football weather with beautiful conditions outdoors. Voting closes at the end of this broadcast. That's for the game of the week as well, so can't determine the outcome of that football game, but you can determine who's your cheer squad of the week, band of the week. Go out and vote on Matt's Instagram and Facebook account. So that will close at the end of this broadcast. You still have probably another 20 minutes. We love to talk here at Mississippi Live Weather, giving you the latest. So definitely want to go out and vote. I know it's been a good fight between the two. Definitely want to determine who wins that outcome. But also, this is kind of going back towards that 5 o'clock headline I put with that rinse and repeat weekend, almost identical copy. The tropics are still affecting those rain chances that we're going to see, not for this weekend, but into your Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. As you saw during the 5 o'clock broadcast, already ticked those chances for our Monday up, whether that tropical system not confirmed yet. It's just a disturbance at this point. If that can try to get a little bit more into the Gulf, maybe south of Mississippi, give us some more moisture, that can affect our rain chances. But as we saw last week, that tropical storm made its way towards the east and into the Atlantic and definitely dropped those rain chances for our Monday and Tuesday. Did not see as much as we would have hoped here in Mississippi, but we're going to give you the latest look at that coming up within the next few minutes. But taking a look at North Mississippi for the first 12, we're starting off around 74 degrees by 7 o'clock. Beautiful football weather. We're going to continue cooling off towards the mid-60s by the time we're wrapping up some football games, getting into our house for any evening plans. Seeing some low 60s by those AM hours, but thankfully, those upper 50s are coming back into the forecast for our lows, allowing a chillier start to our day, especially for Saturday. That weird in-between of starting off the day with some sweatpants and a hoodie on. But Matt, I would say right now we're kind of in that perfect in-between. It's not too hot outside, but it's also not too cold for this football weather.
A cold would probably be pushing it, I think, even at the end of this game. But yeah, it is kind of beautiful weather out here in Ecru. We're in North Pontotoc for our Mississippi Live Game of the Week. That's, of course, going to be featuring the folks here, the North Pontotoc Vikings, as well as New Albany Bulldogs. And it is just, I mean, you kind of already mentioned it, an absolutely stellar night. I switched the camera around. You can see a lot of blue skies. Got that sun there, not even a cloud in the sky at this point here on what has been just a spectacular day. Of course, the folks from North Pontotoc getting ready here on the field. Is senior night as well, so a lot of emotions going on. We have two amazing teams here, one undefeated in North Pontotoc, one lost team in New Albany, but that's the ranked team in this division. And as we talk about all the time, division play kind of upsets the apple cart. We'll look more at how that all is going to play out here in a couple of minutes. Meteorologist Gabe Maynard here with me as well. He was practicing with, I guess, some of the managers here.
I my teammate.
Oh, gosh.
He dropped the ball in the end zone a couple of times. We're going to learn.
We're going to, no. We're going to move this. If he's going to say he dropped the ball, then let's talk about the 10 times Gabe missed him while he was wide. Am I right here? Hold on.
That's bad throws.
That's bad. A couple. I threw 0 throws, so I'm also 0 for, whatever, Gabe.
I'm, 8 years out of my prime or something, so,
You had a prime?
Yeah, I peaked in high school. What can I say?
You don't want to peak at high school. And luckily, weather-wise, he hasn't peaked yet.
No, hey, I had 1 interception in intramural football back in college, so I don't mean to brag, but our team did go 0-4 that year. So
I was going to say, because he had 0 touchdowns
nothing to brag
go with
about.
that intersection. The interception. Okay, so beautiful weather out here tonight. Looking forward to the game. Of course, we'll talk more with Gabe about that here in a couple of minutes. But certainly outside this evening, as you can see, is coming in right about 79 degrees here in Ecru. Our winds remain still a little bit of a breeze, and if you're going to argue for somewhat cool, that's the reason why that breeze out of the east at about 10 miles per hour or so. Look at the latest on Mississippi Live Weather Radar. There's just not a lot out there as you kind of note around, not just close by, but here, the general region. Only a couple sprinkles down there kind of south of Clanton, Alabama, as close as any moisture really is to us. So it's just not much there to talk about with that. I'm going to see if we can kind of go this a little wider back to the west. Yeah, again, just as clear. So I guess it's no real shock there. And that's part of the reason why, again, as we look at that forecast through the evening tonight, we expect that hour-by-hour forecast will continue to probably keep us into the dry category as well. Under mostly clear skies, I'll let you advance that one for me, Caleb, if you would. And again, you'll note here coming about 74 by 7, 67 degrees by 9, at 64 at the conclusion of these games, probably somewhere mid-60s. I still anticipate that with the wind that we have, it'll probably feel a little cooler than that. Wind chill probably pushing a little bit, but I brought a jacket. Dave brought a jacket. If you're going to these games, you should be probably bringing a jacket as well. Kind of looking at the future cast, though, around the region, that is one of the things that, again, keeps us clear at this point, though we are watching at least some moisture chances somewhat closer, Caleb. As we advance this, we'll look ahead at that full forecast related to that here in a couple minutes, but certainly loving things out here at this point and hoping for a good game. We'll talk to our Will Kohlmeyer a little bit about this game. And, of course, latest on your SEC football. Ole Miss off this weekend. How's it playing out for everybody else? We'll look at that coming up in a few minutes. Live here in Ecru in Pontotoc County from our Mississippi Live Game of the Week, brought to you by Casey Lott. I'm Chief Meteorologist Matt Lawpon for Mississippi Live Weather.
Well, we appreciate it, Matt Lawpon, for giving us the latest look on all those conditions outside. I know you're enjoying them because, yeah, it's not quite cool yet. We'll be later, but still some beautiful conditions in store. Let's take a look at that futurecast that he was talking about. There's those clear conditions. He was just mentioning that breeze, that easterly wind, allowing us to maybe feel cool. It's still low 80s, but definitely better than what it has been during the work week. Most of that moisture and cloud cover definitely more out west towards Alabama and pretty much the rest of the southeastern United States. But here in North Mississippi, we are continuing to stay dry overnight and into your Saturday as well. Maybe some pockets of moisture really going to try to give us some color to look at here on Futurecast. Not expecting anything for tomorrow if it can reach the surface. If so, you might get a brief sprinkle or two, but we are seeing a whole lot of this, and that is a whole lot of dry for our Saturday weather conditions. We can track that out here with the next 24 showing pretty much just sunny skies all day long, starting off upper 50s as our low for tomorrow, starting to warm up towards the mid 60s by 9, especially if you want to sleep in just a little bit, and you'll still experience some beautiful conditions as you start off your Saturday morning, warming up towards around 80 degrees by lunchtime, and then still pretty much staying around the low 80s as our high tomorrow, around 83 degrees by 3 o'clock, before we start cooling off towards the low 80s still by the 6 o'clock broadcast time tomorrow evening. So it will be beautiful here in North Mississippi, but I'm gonna give you the latest look on everything you need to know as far as those rain chances. The tropics are going to be trying to influence them for not your Saturday or Sunday, but your Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I'm gonna cover everything you need to know coming up here in 1 minute.
At Bulldog Burger, we take the burger game to the next level, like the Freshman 15, stacked with panko fried mozzarella. Unleash your appetite.
Be right there. Wait. Use the shovel and bucket of water, remember? Drown, stir, drown, feel. Then make sure it's cool.
Where'd you learn that?
SmokeyBear.com. Brushed up on some tips before we left. Don't want to start a wildfire, right?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Being a parent, especially for the first time, with that comes a lot of self-doubt. As a dad, I just try to lead by example. When you're trying to be the best person that you can be, your kids see that and then they emulate that.
Right now, from the Room to Room Weather Center, here's meteorologist Caleb Edelblut.
Well, thanks for sticking here with us at Mississippi Live Weather at 6. I'm so glad Amy could put something in the comments just talking about how Matt and Gabe make her laugh so much these days. That was hilarious watching behind the scenes. I'm glad that I was not the only one getting a kick out of it. But as mentioned, they are there at the High School Game of the Week presented by Casey Lott out there in North Pontotoc and Ecru. We are seeing those beautiful conditions. 81 degrees by the pregame activities. We're already starting to see some upper 70s as we get closer and closer towards kickoff. Halftime, we're going to see 70 degrees before starting to see those mid to upper 60s by the final snap. A beautiful evening outdoors. Matt still live out there giving us the latest.
Yeah, we're out here in Ecru, North Pontotoc this evening. Beautiful sun setting behind me. It is senior night. I got a lot of folks here in the stands ready to see all the great kids. Everybody wave real quick. Hey, wave. Hey, y'all want to wave real quick? There we go. They're saving their cheers apparently, Gabe.
They got to save their voices.
Yeah, I
Game
guess.
time is still 50 minutes away, so we're counting down senior night. So lots of exciting festivities, not to mention one loss combined between the two teams. And to ramp things up even more, voting, and I know Caleb will have this at the end of the sixth, currently about a 200 vote difference for both band and cheer with New Albany winning. So there's still time, North Pontotoc. We've got to get to work here in these last couple minutes.
Well, you have to not enter Sandman like the song here, right? And you need to get on there and vote if we're going to catch up. It's a pretty wide margin. But, of course, we'll have that band and cheer squad of the week. Who won that for you? Come up tonight, Mississippi Live Weather at 10. We'll hope you'll tune in for that. Of course, you'll have plenty of highlights related to that.
Depends on if they provide it, but I think they will with the high-powered offenses that they have.
I was going to say, there should be pretty good highlights as far as that is concerned. I've not seen the New Albany, out here getting ready, so I know that they're behind the scenes hitting that, though. Of course, we do have a lot of folks, fans starting to gather across the way as well. But our Will Kohlmeyer at a different stadium this evening, where, of course, our game of the week was last week in the Tupelo area. And, one of the things Will's talking about this game, but also, of course, what's going on in SEC football for this weekend.
Tell you what, it's going to be another great night of high school football, Matt. The weather is perfect, and the fans will be out, and including the game of the week for us, New Albany and North Pontotoc. What a matchup there. Both teams, they love to get up and down. New Albany, a ton of offense this year. They're averaging a little over 45 points a game. North Pontotoc, the Vikings can score as well, averaging just over 42 points a game. We could have a high-scoring shootout, and I think that would be something special for you guys as well as the rest of the fans. As you can see the numbers, New Albany just one loss on the year. North Pontotoc is perfect after 4 games. And so the fans did a nice job of picking our game of the week this week, New Albany and North Pontotoc. Now let's talk some college. Of course, Ole Miss is off this weekend after that dramatic win last week against LSU in Oxford, a win that vaulted Ole Miss all the way up into the top 5 in the country, currently standing at number 4. So the game, our games of interest begin at 2:30 on ABC, Alabama and Vanderbilt. Remember last year, Matt, it was Vanderbilt that hurt Alabama's feelings. It shocked everybody. Did not shock that Vanderbilt locker room. They believed in their team. A great turnaround season last year, off to a great start this year. I mean, we're talking about the 16th ranked Commodores from Vanderbilt. That doesn't happen very often, especially now that we're in October. Taking on a 10th ranked Alabama team. 2 contrasting styles in this one. Alabama likes to throw it around with Ty Simpson. Vanderbilt with Diego Pavia at quarterback. They like to keep it on the ground a little more ground and pound. That's not the style for DeBoer in Alabama. And they're going to eventually have to learn and be able to obtain a good running attack if they want to make as much noise as they want to do this year in football. But for now, I like Alabama at home, and they will, return the serve from last year's loss up in Nashville. And then there's Mississippi State. What a heartbreaking loss last week in overtime to a nationally ranked Tennessee team. It's interesting to see how Mississippi State will do in a bounce-back game, and not an easy assignment in College Station, taking on 6th-ranked Texas A&M. The one good news, though, for Mississippi State is throughout the time that A&M has been in the SEC, Mississippi State has hung with them, and they've played Texas A&M very tough each time, about a 500 winning percentage, very even in this series since Texas A&M entered the SEC. Texas A&M, though, at home, they're favored by a couple touchdowns. I'm thinking A&M will come away with the victory this week, especially at home, at night. But I think Mississippi State will keep it competitive. And that's what Jeff Levy and Mississippi State fans, let's be honest, are looking for. They're just looking for some improvement each week. They saw it last week, nearly. They came so close to knocking off a Tennessee team. They will fight and fight hard tomorrow night in College Station, but they'll come up a little shy in that one. Matt, I like Texas A&M at home in that matchup against Mississippi State.
Yeah, I think a lot of Mississippi State fans, if you told them at the beginning of the season that they would have taken a nationally ranked team of any sort, but much less Tennessee, to overtime, they definitely would have said, hey, things have improved. So it looks like certainly this Mississippi State squad continues to get better and better each week. Thank you, Will, so much. Appreciate it.
Well, as a Mississippi State fan here, I will say things have definitely improved. I am excited to see what they can do on the road. But let's start off first with our SEC football forecast for Alabama taking on Vanderbilt. I think this will be a good game, especially with what Vanderbilt has been able to do for the program the past few years. This will be an afternoon game, so starting off a little toasty, around 83 degrees. Still, maybe a chance of some showers or sprinkles by the start of the first play. But you're going to see a drier forecast as you continue towards halftime, seeing mid-80s to then low 80s by the time you're walking out of the stadium. Should be a good game out there in Tuscaloosa. And then here we go with the Bulldogs doing an away game in College Station, facing Texas A&M. It's going to be a good game. It'll be tough. 88 degrees by the first play, an evening game, but still pretty hot out there in Texas. And then you can see 82 degrees by halftime, and then 77 by the time you're wrapping up the game. And of course, Oxford and Ole Miss having a bye week, but number 4 ranked team in the nation. So y'all are doing great this year. Very excited to see y'all's matchups later on, especially facing on the Bulldogs later on in the season. But let's take a look at FutureCast, showing those easterly winds. That's what's allowing us to kind of say we're experiencing some cooler weather. It's still around the low 80s, upper 70s, but with what it's been this week and work week, we've seen those above average temperatures. We'll definitely enjoy some low 80s as we continue into our Friday evening. We're going to see that cloud cover pretty much just stay out in Alabama. We are still seeing a clear forecast here in Mississippi, a beautiful one at that as we continue into our evening. Should be a beautiful forecast for our Friday night games. Any evening plans, any outdoor plans, definitely want to make them outdoors because it will feel amazing outside. Even into your Saturday morning, maybe seeing some cloud cover try to build up just a little bit, but we're seeing clear conditions. These are going to be wispy, high and thin clouds in our atmosphere. We are just going to continue to stay dry. Low temperatures are looking amazing, pretty much upper 50s. You can even argue mid 50s, 55 in Red Bay, 56 in Hamilton. It will be a cool start to our Saturday morning before we start warming up later on into the afternoon. Let's check that out with FutureCast, showing those clear conditions persisting into our Saturday morning as well. The most moisture we're going to see will be in cloud cover, but not really going to see that here in North Mississippi. If you want to see any cloud cover, you need to go look towards Alabama. I was even covering up some rain chances. Like I mentioned, at 5 o'clock, maybe my sister could see some rain showers or sprinkles, but we're not going to be seeing much here in North Mississippi. Around lunchtime, seeing clear skies continue as well. And that's going to continue into your afternoon as well. Just clear skies. Not much to look at on this graphic. That easterly wind will pretty much be the main thing. Last weekend, it was that northerly wind allowing us to stay dry. Maybe that easterly wind will try to bring in some clouds and some moisture later on into our work week. High temperatures are still above average, pretty much mid 80s for our highs tomorrow. You can see, this is what I wanted to point out during the 5 o'clock. I missed it. 88 in Greenwood, Belzona, and Greenville. Y'all are the hottest values coming up on our high temperatures, but take a look at those same locations for the heat indices. 85 degrees on all 3 of those. So even though you're reading in the upper 80s, you're still feeling like you're in the mid 80s with all of us. So it will still feel nice outside, still above average. But we're working slowly to get towards those fall-like values, especially now that we're officially in fall. We'd like to at least experience it as well. Park Planner, sunny skies all day long, whether you want to get up early, 58 degrees by 7 o'clock, seeing 80s by 12 and on, and then starting to see mid-70s by the time you want to go out. Maybe in the evening once the sun starts to set, it will feel amazing no matter what time you decide to take the kids to the park tomorrow. Coming back to FutureCast, you can see those clouds really trying to fight an uphill battle. We are still seeing mostly clear conditions as we continue into the evening, turning pretty clear later on, and then maybe some more cloud cover trying to build in just a little bit around midnight, but still, for those that love to look outside and look at the stars, will still be a good weekend. I know the work week we had those clear conditions, a little bit more clouds this weekend, but still, it will feel amazing outside. It will be beautiful into your Sunday as well. Sunday morning allowing for a beautiful church commute. Still not much clouds or any activity going on until we get closer towards the afternoon. And this is picking up on a lot of rain chances. Still not agreeing with them as much as kind of back towards last weekend where it started showing some for our Monday and Tuesday. Did not agree with them. It didn't end up happening. I do think any rain chances that we'll have is going to be more like what is showing right now. Those rain chances are going to stay in the most southern parts of our viewing area. I think South Mississippi, maybe even Central Mississippi can get them. North Mississippi, definitely facing an uphill battle. We'd love to see them. I know we would fight and push and get as many rain chances as we can. But right now, I'm still expecting us to stay dry. But every model run that comes out, we're going to continue to get more and more updated and more confident with those rain chances. I'm still expecting more of these conditions with those rain chances staying away here in North Mississippi. By the time we're getting towards Monday evening and not evening, the overnight period by 1 a.m., seeing some cloud cover, that's going to be the most amount of moisture that we'll see here in North Mississippi. High temperatures, pretty much still mid 80s there for our Sunday, so still beautiful all weekend long, still above average, unfortunately. Those heat indices are going to keep the same trend as well, keep us right there with those actual temperatures. Thankfully, no mugginess if we're at least staying dry here, getting away from that summertime mugginess as we push further and further into fall. But let's take a look at the 7-day forecast. You see our high for Saturday is around 84, warming up a little bit towards 86 for our Sunday. But then Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, those are our best chances to see rainfall. And as I mentioned earlier, the tropics are going to influence that. So you can see already upticked Monday just a little bit to 30%, still keeping Tuesday and Wednesday around 20%. But those not rain chances, the temperatures, 84 for your Tuesday, 83 for your Wednesday, and you're seeing 82 for your Thursday and Friday. So it's going to feel great outside. But still, as you can see here with the normal high around 81 degrees, we are still above average. But as I mentioned earlier, I want to give you an in-depth look on those rain chances for your Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and that's because of the tropics. We're going to cover all of that coming up here in 1 minute.
At First Choice Bank, we know you can't always make it before the bank closes. With our integrated teller, you can talk to a live person as late as 7 p.m. on weekdays and noon on Saturdays. It's not just an ATM, it's an ITM. First Choice Bank, your choice for banking.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. But only you can prevent wildfires.
Well, thanks for sticking here with us at Mississippi Live Weather at 6. As promised, I want to give you a look at the tropics and what's going on out there. We have two disturbances right now. Disturbance number 1 is just off the coast of Florida right now. Not a high chance of development within the next 48 hours or 7 days, around a 10% for both. So next 2 days, 10%, next 7 days, 10% as well. Just off the coast of Florida. And this is what's going to influence our rain chances as we proceed into the work week. Weekend, we're staying dry, but another disturbance that I wanted to show y'all a little bit more confident, you could say, is disturbance number 2, just off the coast of Africa, which I'm covering up behind me. Still a long ways away. You can notice right above the next 2 days, you can see Tupelo far off in the distance, not going to make an impact on us anytime soon if it does end up making an impact. 0% chance of formation within the next 48 hours or 2 days, but there is a 50% chance of forming a named storm within the next 7 days. So this will be a system that we want to continue tracking out. But let's take a look at our atmospheric moisture chart. This is what's kind of going to show us what those rain chances look like as we get further into the work week. Notice how, let's look at this scale. This is how you're going to tell whether we're dry or we're saturated. That brown color, you can see definitely more dry, and the dark green into very, very bright green, saturated. So that is what we want to see when we see our rain chances. Right now, you can see that kind of brown mixing into North Mississippi. We're not as saturated. We're dry here, and we can definitely feel that as we go outside. You can see that little moisture content starting to spin just a little bit. That's that disturbance trying to form just off the coast of Florida. But as we track this out into the rest of your weekend, notice how that dry weather starts to push a little bit more north, and we get a little bit more saturated into our Sunday. That's why we have some of those rain chances starting to pop up into your Sunday afternoon and evening. Notice it's a lot more saturated South Mississippi into maybe Central Mississippi. I think that's our best chances of rainfall. Could we argue that some could push into North Mississippi? Absolutely. Will we have our fingers crossed? Absolutely. But most of that moisture content will be around the Gulf and will pretty much stay around the coast trying to push into Mississippi. Not really going to see that much, but that's Sunday early morning around 6 a.m. and it's going to push into Mississippi into your Monday as well. That's why our rain chances start to increase into your Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday as well. It's going to stay dark. It's going to stay saturated. That dry air still shifting north and more saturation being pushed into the United States as a whole. But as we continue into the work week, you're going to notice that dry air starting to push in just a little bit more. There's a line of it starting to move in. If I play this one more time, you can see still saturated and dark here in Mississippi. Let's watch that line just try to close in on Mississippi as we get closer towards Wednesday. That's where our rain chances are going to start to diminish and why we don't really see many for our Thursday, Friday, Saturday as well. So our rain chances are going to stay pretty confident and increase for our Monday as of now into your Tuesday and Wednesday, but we're going to start seeing drier weather be replaced into your Thursday and Friday as well. But thankfully, as you saw on that 7-day forecast, we're seeing a high of 82 for your Thursday and Friday, so it will feel amazing. But this is a tropical season. We want to always make sure to stay updated with it. I've taken tropical meteorology this semester at Mississippi State, have learned a lot, and from everything I've learned, we still have a ways to go for this tropical season. It's been underwhelming, but definitely something that could try to ramp up as we get further into October and November. So you definitely want to stay updated with us here at Mississippi Live Weather. No better place to be remain updated than with our app. Here are the QR codes for both iOS and Android. I know we just pushed out an update, I think a day or two ago, making it more battery efficient and helping you out. So we appreciate all the support, all the feedback, because we want to know what is working, what isn't working, what do y'all want, what likes, what doesn't work. We're doing this all for you guys, and we can't do it without y'all. So we appreciate every single support and feedback you give us. Our live shows, we'll have one more tonight. That'll be at 10 o'clock. Our voting is just about to end, so go out. I know Gabe was saying that there's only a 200 vote difference, which is pretty close compared to some other runs we've had. Make sure to go out, give that last minute vote before I end this broadcast. We'll be live later on tonight at 10, where we will announce who the band and cheer squad of the week are, along with those highlights that I know Gabe is excited to get. Love watching him announce, what would the right word be? Commentator? Yes, a commentator for those highlights. Definitely one of my favorite parts of our Friday broadcast. So y'all go out, enjoy the rest of y'all's Friday evening, enjoy this beautiful weather as we continue to cool off, and I'll see y'all back here live in the Room to Room Weather Center at 10.
You're not gonna get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama!
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.